Do you think we could get away with playing theme songs here?
No, but Jay can sing it. Jay, go.
Doing it the best I can. Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Just the 10 of Us. Just the 10 of Us went 47 episodes over 3 seasons on ABC. Today we're talking about episode 1, which was called Move It or Lose It, originally airing April 26th, 1988. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, Joe, Ferg, Nick, and Gordo. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Heyo.
I might sneeze in my pants.
I love that one. Surprised you went with that, though.
Oh, it's a pee joke. It's different.
Welcome, everyone, to the 5th and final week of Fanuary, where each week we let you guys pick the episodes based on some Spotify raps. If you had posted it, it entered you guys to win. This was Josh's pick. Josh actually sent this through email, and thank you, Josh, for submitting.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Josh.
Luckily eligible because we had already done Growing Pains. This is a Growing Pains spinoff, if you guys weren't aware.
And I can't believe we hadn't picked this already because Ferg and I have mentioned this show has to be 1,000 times.
Yeah, he noted that too, that he had heard us bring it up a few times, but never actually did it. So
I loved this show as a kid. This was on syndication on USA on like summer mornings for like maybe 2 years in the same block as Major Dad. And I watched it all the fucking time.
Was I cryogenically frozen? Because I don't remember this show at all.
I don't even kind of remember this show.
That's so crazy to me.
Gordo, we used to put this on after we watched Top Gun.
yeah, I don't really remember watching this show, but I remember the theme. The theme was embedded in my head.
Well, it's the same theme. It's the same
It's
theme
one of the
as,
Righteous Brothers. That's a fucking pull.
Yeah, this might be like a top 10 sitcom theme.
It's this like the same melody as Growing Pains, like almost identical. It's
close.
It's like the same.
Yeah, it's definitely similar. I mean, I guess though, if like the assignment was write a really good song for this spinoff of this show, you use the DNA a little bit of the show you're spinning off.
But yeah, I do love the intro.
Of all the beloved characters, why did they choose him?
Yeah,
I love him. I love Bill Kirchenbauer, but you're forgetting.
Why did we get the Boner show?
Who's Boner?
But Bill Kirchenbauer too, though. Like we haven't. This was like before us, right? But he was like a recurring character on Mork and Mindy. He was a recurring character on Firmwood Tonight. Like he was like a known entity. Right, like so it made sense because like he was like a sitcom guy in '88 already.
He was a stand-up comedian at heart,
Yeah.
wasn't he? I've never seen anything of his. I don't know if he's any good, but
It's fun. I will say his stand-up is definitely fun to watch if you like crazy wacky '80s stand-up. Like not wacky in the way of like he's not Andrew Dice Clay. He's more Howie Mandel, if that makes sense. He's more like
I got strong Jim Belushi vibes from him.
Well, you're just confused. You're conflating a principal and a coach. They're just two different parts of a school.
Well, you're seeing him in sitcom like form too, and not like stand up form. So
Yeah.
like you're getting very like doopy dad.
He gives me Kevin vibes from The Office.
I mean, physically, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about Kevin from The
I'm
Office.
just
He
thinking Gordon
wanted
has
to
watched
say something.
one episode of The Office.
To get into the show a little bit before we go on, because I mean it's not going to organically come up. This is one of those shows that did pretty well in the ratings. It was on TGIF, and then I don't know if you guys read up on why it was canceled, but
Yeah.
basically, the show was doing well, and it was on a part of ABC's TGIF lineup, and basically all the other shows on TGIF at the time were Miller-Boyett Productions, except that one, and ABC had a deal with them, and they were trying to produce more television. So they came up, there was another show that was coming out called Going Places that starred Alan Ruck and Heather Locklear, and they had nowhere to put it. So basically, this show just got the boot, even though it was doing well.
Also, Going Places coming soon.
That show tanked horribly to the point where ABC even like openly admitted they made a mistake.
Did it do horribly because people were mad it replaced the show they
No,
liked?
it just wasn't
No,
a good show.
probably not.
And
So I love Alan Ruck too.
I was gonna say, right? There's only a few years after Ferris Bueller too.
Yeah, and all the shows were like family based, so that one was supposed to be a little bit more adult. So this one was, like all the other shows on TGIF, all kind of centered around families, which I thought was the whole point of the TGIF block, anyways.
Yeah, that whole thing was literally their song was like, "Hey, family, get some popcorn and order some pizza and sit on the TV for 2 hours. This is all family friendly entertainment." And all of a sudden, it's like, "It's the tit hour!" Like, what are we doing, TGIF?
I thought it was for Garfield.
What?
He was referencing that sometimes Garfield said, "Thank God it's Friday," but usually, most of the time, he said, "I hate Mondays," which made him just happy to be any day but Monday. But
so, anyways, yeah, he didn't say that ever. Going back to this though, so that show tanked. ABC's like, yeah, we fucked up, and then they replaced that with Step by Step. So it all kind of works out because maybe Step by Step doesn't happen or blow up if it doesn't have this time slot.
Okay, hear me out. It's Step by Step, but instead of Horny Frank, we get Horny Coach, and Bill Kirchenbauer is running after Suzanne Summers the whole time.
There is more than enough horniness in the show. We'll get into it as we talk.
There's a lot of horniness. There's also like,
yeah, that's how 10 kids got born.
Yeah, stop fucking. My God.
They live in an apartment in New York City.
For real. And
then they get to this house. There's only 3 bedrooms. Like, how big was your Brooklyn apartment? I'm guessing less than 3 bedrooms.
Maybe it was the apartment from Different Strokes.
It just keeps going and going.
I thought that whole thing was interesting because then the show gets sold to USA for syndication, like you guys are talking about, and the ratings for the syndicated episodes were doing way better than Going Places was doing. It was just one of those huge missteps.
You would think if they buy the syndication, they'd try to make some effort to revive the show on their network. Maybe they couldn't, but...
Yeah, especially where it was doing well. But that stuff all goes into... I'm sure there's a lot of contracts and stuff involved for that stuff. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but...
We've talked about this plenty of times too, though, and even use a TGIF show as a reference, right? Like Family Matters did their last season on a different network, right? Like it would have been... In that little amount of time, it would have been super easy for like CBS, NBC, anybody to pop in and be like, we'll do a season of just the 10 of us.
Like comparable to these days when like Netflix swoops in and saves series.
Right.
I mean, do you think part of it might have to do with the fact that without even supporting cast, the main cast is 10 people?
I mean, it's definitely not a cheap show to produce because you have...
Consistently step away and fight Freddy Krueger.
There were 3 people who were
3
in
of the
different
daughters all came out of that. But one thing about this show is, in the not to get ahead, but this show naturally, in its short run, did start focusing on the older daughters as time
I was going to say, I read that like that was almost instantly that shifted.
I would say it's more into the second season. The first season is only 4 episodes anyway. It's a short first season, but
yeah,
they sort of like push away from the coach, the guy from Heat and the Allstate ads and Major League. I can't think of his name right now. But him and then the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati, who's like the main like priest at the place. Like they sort of like push away from those characters and just spend more time on like the kids for sure after first season.
Oh, I like them.
So I was watching on my phone in bed as I do.
The only way to watch a TV show on a tiny rectangle in bed with your eyes half asleep.
And I remember, I think it was Joe mentioning something about Dan Aykroyd, and I thought the priest was Dan Aykroyd.
I did too. For a very brief second, he did look like him.
And I forget who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looked like to me, but I'll remember it.
You're thinking of Soul Man, which was a show where Dan Aykroyd was a priest.
Which we've been trying to cover for so long, but can't find a copy of it that's watchable. So if anybody out there in the TV universe has a copy.
I'd have to go back and look at it and see if we've lowered our standards, because we've done some pretty shitty quality shows, but it was rough when I saw it.
I will say this, I don't want to get into a conversation about AI, because I think that's obvious why we shouldn't. But I think people are using AI to like upscale bad videos.
That's the version of this I watched was AI restored.
Oh, interesting. So, I mean, maybe we could try to put some of these really bad quality shows through one of those and see if we can get... The problem is, I'm afraid, though, that like then Dan Aykroyd walks out and he's got 3 heads or something, and you're like, okay, well, there's the issue right there.
Best show ever.
I mean, 3 Dan Aykroyds, fucking take my money.
So, and then to follow up on what we just said, YouTube is where you can go to watch this. It's kind of funny because you would think that this would be on some sort of a streamer because it was popular at one point.
I was positive this would be on Hulu. I can't believe it's not.
Or like a Pluto or something, but yeah.
Yeah, like Pluto or Tubi or one of those, like you'd think would have it.
7.0 on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes has nothing. And then just for all of you, if you want to follow us on anything, S1E1pod.com will take you to everything you need to find us.
I will say this, though. This is the bummer of that thing to me, though, is like these are people who, to me, were all instantly recognizable as kids. And if you were to see any of them now, like my brain would be like, oh, from just the 10 of us. But then a show falls out of syndication. And then the next generation, nobody even has it for free on streaming or purchase. And these people like put so much time and effort, like the writers, the fucking crew, the actors, and it just disappears. And that's so weird to me for a show that went multiple seasons and was like a big fucking deal. I just feel bad for these people. Now they're just like, I was on a show, guys.
That's ultimately what's going to, determine what shows are remembered through time and which ones aren't, and just the ones that become available to watch. Because as we're losing touch with physical media and everything's, based on what we can find on our streamers, if it's nowhere to be found on streamers and we're not using physical media, then what happens at this point? You know what I mean? The show just disappears.
Moral of the story, keep your physical media.
There's a huge uptick in physical media. I have never abandoned it, but I'm glad it's coming back, especially for like 4K and Blu-ray, right? People are like buying movies to keep them because stuff keeps pulling off of streamers and people want to watch certain things and it disappears. But the one thing, like there are shows that are, you go to Walmart in the DVD aisle, there's always like a big section of TV shows. I have several, like I'll buy like the 50 disc Mama's Family or whatever, or A-Team. But shows like this, there seems to be no appetite for that either, though, right? There's no like, well, we'll put it on, and this wouldn't be that many discs too. It's only like 47 episodes, but I just don't think the appetite's there.
You almost have to make like a TGIF box set that has like multiple shows on it and things like,
You could do like Aliens in the Family, like all like the ones that didn't last that long.
Yeah, I would love like do one disc of the best episodes each of the like forgotten TGIF shows. That would be, our generation of people would fucking watch that, and a lot of us would buy it.
But yeah, to jump into the show itself is it's weird. It's not a dense episode, but it's a lot of chaos because of the cast, which is one thing that I found to be tough when watching this and doing notes. Is just when you have this many people in the main cast and interchanging them constantly, it gets a little tricky.
This entire opening, especially once they get in the car, is just the first scene of Karate Kid. Did anybody else feel that?
True.
Or, like,
Yeah.
it's just the like driving to California from New York in Karate Kid scene.
But I find mainly in this episode, because the show changes down the line, it's hard in this pilot to differentiate the kids from one another. They
Yeah.
all have
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
personality. They're all like, boys! Like,
They try to a little at the beginning, like, this kid's tough, and this girl likes boys, and this one's like a writer by herself in a room. But then they get to Eureka, and everyone's just like, yeah, boys, boys, boys. You're like, okay, sure.
So yeah, so to jump right in, we start with the exterior shot, and we're in New York. We see a moving truck outside of a building, and we cut inside, and we see one of the daughters in this family, Connie, and she's like writing into her journal, and that's the narration we're getting during this. And through her journal and narration, we're getting a lot of exposition about the whole family. So she starts by saying, April 2nd, moving day, it's official, my life is over. And from there, she just we get a rundown of every single person in the family. And I don't want to read the entire monologue.
Connie from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the bus scene? Wow!
Yeah.
I think in this we cover Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7.
What?
So Heather's in 1, 3, and 7.
Yeah, she's in the original, obviously. She's in
Dream Warriors and New
then
Nightmare.
she was in Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah, and Connie is in
Connie's only in 2. She's
part
one of the
2.
cheerleaders on the bus scene at the beginning.
yeah, and the other sister is in Freddy in
Part 4, she's the one that Freddy turns into a bug and squishes.
yes.
Which one's in Freddy Got Fingered?
I'm the backwards man, I can go back as fast as you can. Again, speaking of physical media, I'm waiting for Tom Green has like a 4-hour cut of Freddy Got Fingered, and I need that in my life so fucking badly.
Jesus.
No one does.
Yeah, anyways, Connie's giving us exposition about everybody. And we're learning, and I don't know, some of this stuff comes back, but again, I don't want to dig into reading this whole thing. But we're getting the rundown of the whole family. And basically, the structure of this family is we have the two parents who are Graham and Elizabeth. And then we have the 4 oldest daughters, Connie, Marie, Cindy, and Wendy. Sherry, who is a younger daughter. Then we have Graham Jr., who's about her age, and then the baby who's what was the baby's name?
It was something weird. What the hell was it?
Did they say Harvey or something?
Harvey, I
Harper,
think.
maybe?
It might be Harvey.
It was Harvey Jr.
He's not even listed in the IMDb. Usually the baby's like credited. It wasn't in for that.
It is
episode.
Harvey. It's Harvey Lubbock.
It is
And there's
Harvey.
JR as the teen
We're
boy
so good at
there.
our jobs.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So we learn a little about each one of them, and so they have 7 kids presently. The mother's pregnant with the 8, so that's what's going to eventually make the 10 of them.
Oh, I thought the dog was the 10th.
Just the 11 of us. Roof, why did you count me?
Before she was pregnant, before I realized she was pregnant, I thought the dog was the 10th.
Well, I guess technically in this moment the dog is the 10th.
Yeah.
8 kids. Having 8 kids from horny teens all the way down to embryonic baby. I can't even fucking like he lost his hair the same way Homer Simpson lost his hair. Like every time she said she was pregnant, he just like rips them out and ran up the stairs. I can't
You
even
know what
imagine.
happened though? They were trying for a boy, and they kept getting girls, but they didn't stop after a boy because then they got Harvey. But
Well, they're a good Catholic family.
That was the way once upon a time. I mean, we may have talked about that in the past, but like my grandmother was the youngest of 14.
No.
Like that was like standard way back.
Jesus. I don't think 14 was the standard anywhere. But yeah, no, I mean, I had a coworker who was the youngest of 10.
I'm not being hyperbolic.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
hold on, time. That word is correct. I don't know what you're going to say after it, but I think you're on the right path.
The actual billing of this sitcom is the reason for the family being so big is because they are a good Catholic family. That is why he goes to a Catholic school.
now, what would be hyperbolic about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no hyperbole there. I'm glad I caveated as you started.
It sounded
But,
nice.
Hyperbolic is like over exaggerating.
So, exactly. I wasn't over exaggerating when I said
You weren't any exaggerating.
oh, they were a good Catholic family. I wasn't being funny.
You weren't being facetious.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're almost never being funny.
I'm always being. Listen, I broke Joe last week.
Last episode, I'm going to say you did get me, and I was mad
You
about
got
it, but
me
you
too
actually
on
did
that
get
one.
me, and I'm not going to lie about it, yeah.
250 episodes. I finally got you.
You've gotten me a couple times. There's one, I forget what episode it was, but like literally in the video, I like was hyperventilating. I like was laughing so hard I like couldn't breathe. I don't know if it was something you said that was funny or I just couldn't stand what you said. Yeah.
Gordo's best joke on the show ever was with the wheat from the chaff thing when Joe's like, it's the oldest saying in the world. And Gordo goes, no, the oldest saying is Unca Bunca. That's my favorite Gordo joke.
I don't even know what that was. Probably 3 years ago. I couldn't even reference what episode to tell people to go back.
We've been
and
doing this a
listen to.
long time, yeah.
So we're running down all these kids. I mean, the last one is JR, who we see that he was like, the only one who was excited to move because he's running out of people to fight in the area. And you cut over to him and you see him just like, he's with a few kids and like one of them's like, oh, so you're going to be a Californian now, huh? And he's just like, what'd you call me? And just like pounces him.
Oh, you take the 7 to the 8.
Devin?
What are you
That
doing
sketch so
here?
much. It's not funny. It's so fucking much.
It is funny.
So we cut back to Connie and she's like in the empty chair in the apartment finishing up her journal. And the 2 movers is there and like, hey, we're going to need the chair. She's like, I'm in the middle of this right now. And then it cuts to like the 2 movers physically moving her and the chair outside of the building.
Saw that from a mile away.
I will say, I did have a weird.
Boner?
Well, yeah, Heather Langenkamp and glasses. You know I had a boner for that. I will say, though, I had a weird thing where like I kind of, like, obviously never as a kid would have got this, but like when she's in the chair by herself and the apartment's empty and they're getting in the car to drive to like their house far away from the city, I definitely had a thing where I was like, oh, I had that moment when we moved, right? Like lived in the city my whole life pretty much. And then you're in an apartment and then one day you're like, we're going to somewhere totally different. And it wasn't across the country. It was 2 states away, but it was an odd feeling. And I sort of like had a personal, like, oh, I kind of like understand this moment where like, it was weird when I did the last walkthrough of like a city apartment.
How do you guys feel about the fact that it's narrated by her? Because I feel like it's really unnecessary. I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it, but I just don't see the point of it. There's enough happening in this show that you don't need to also have narration.
I like the beginning. I like the beginning exposition.
And does it stay narrated? Is it always narrated by her?
They
No, I don't believe so.
They stop in this episode. It's
Yeah, in
once
this episode, it's basically once they get to Eureka.
It goes back to her a couple times.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it did too.
I flagged it as a little weird because it was like, why her? She's like the middle of the bunch child. You know, it was like nothing specific why it should be through her eyes.
It's like if Jan Brady was the narrator of the Brady Bunch.
So, I mean, for that reason, it flagged me a little bit. But again, they were trying to give us a lot of exposition, and this was the way to do it. And I don't know if moving forward, that's something they're going to do with future episodes. So it was like,
I don't remember it being a thing in future episodes, but again, it has been probably 30 years, but
I don't remember it being a thing more than the beginning of this episode when we just watched it. It seemed like as soon as they got to California, they did it one other time and then never
it cut back to it a couple other times. So now we see everyone in the car. He gets in and he's like singing a version of Bonanza. But does Bonanza have actual lyrics, or is that just one of those things where everyone made up words?
I think it's made up. I think it's just bum bada bum bada bum bada bum bonanza.
No, John Leguizamo sings the lyrics in The Pest, that greatest movie of all time.
You just like that scene where he's flapping his dick around in the shower. Literally all I can remember from The Pest is seeing John Leguizamo's dick.
Oh, so yeah, they do have the famous Bonanza theme song does have words, though they were often omitted from the show's opening, and different versions exist with lyrics sung by Lorne Green and Johnny Cash, describing the Ponderosa Ranch and the Cartwright family's life.
Thanks, Google AI overview, which may or may not be accurate.
Right. As somebody who's seen 1,000 opening of the episodes of Bonanza at Jay's house, I don't recall actual lyrics.
I've never seen a single episode of Bonanza.
Neither have I.
I've seen more than you'd ever know.
You know, it's one of those shows, everyone knows the theme song.
So anyways, he's singing the theme. He starts driving off. And as he starts, his wife's like, wait a minute, we're missing one. And then you cut to JR outside.
Kevin!
He's wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street shirt.
They really hammer home the Nightmare on Elm Street references in this episode, huh?
But it's funny, but at this point, I think...
They were both Heather and the sister in the second. Those
Was the other one out yet? Because it was in '88. I think only the first one was out.
The first two were out. The first three were out.
Oh, the first three were out?
Don't forget, yeah, they came out yearly. When it became popular, they were pumping them out. Same with Friday the 13th.
The first one's
boom, boom,
84.
boom, boom.
So I think it's 84, 85, 86, or 80. I think Dream Warriors maybe 87. But those are the first three, so they came pretty quickly.
88 was Dream Master, so we wouldn't have gotten Constance didn't get her movie yet. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, not Constance.
The one who played Cindy.
It's hard because there's so many kids, yeah. But the first three were out for sure, I think, at this point.
They pick him up, and then they drive off again, and now we cut to them.
Stuff him in the trunk.
Okay, look, I had the same question. I was like, look, this is like one of the extended, I think it's a Bronco, like one of the older Broncos, or maybe a Silverado, or whatever, like the late 80s, like, or big SUVs were, but like, there's no way 10 people fit in that thing. And they're driving across the country with all their luggage and a dog.
3,000 miles.
It's fucking insane.
I was even thinking, I'm like, if they squeeze someone in the front, that's 3 in the front, maybe 4 in the back, that's still 7. We know the littlest kid was the fighting one was in the trunk because he got crushed when they got there. But where were the others?
I thought it was a station wagon.
No, it's one of the big like double SUVs where there's like.
I mean, they were towing that other thing with some of the kids stuffed in there.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And also, that car must have stunk. 4 days of 10 people in one car. Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, you know what I bet? I bet it smelled really good though because it was that 80s air conditioning before they banned Freon, where like cars had that weird, very like.
They banned Freon?
The kind of Freon that like used to be used in car air conditioners back then. Yeah, you can't use it anymore. They like made it a different thing. It's like a super toxic chemical, so they stopped using it.
My car is Freon. But that's how you charge it.
I don't think it's a different kind. It's just a different way of doing it. It's not as good because like everything that's really bad. It's like asbestos, right? It's like the best insulation of all time, but then you find out it will kill you. So you have to make something that's like it.
Yeah.
And it's a close facsimile, but it's not as good. But like the kind of Freon that was in like fridges when we were kids and cars when we were kids, they can't use anymore. It's like a toxic chemical.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, exactly.
Here, actually, after they pick him up, before we even get to California, is where they get the intro. And again, we talked about it already, but great theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really hits.
And it's just, and other than that, it's just like clips, standard intro, nothing crazy, like very basic, all you kind of need.
Say this all the time, though. A great theme song sets the show apart.
Yeah.
Not all you remember this show, but you all remember the theme song.
Yeah, the problem is I just think with a lot of modern shows, it feels almost out of place now to have themes like that.
I have to look if there's a 7-inch of this. I wonder if like one came out and hopefully it has the cast.
Oh,
the
the
cover.
longer version and shit?
Yeah, like there's like a 4-minute version of this.
Do you think we could get away with playing theme songs here?
No, but Jay can sing it. Jay, go.
Doing it the best I can. Yeah, that was the actual performer, Bill Medley. He said Righteous Brothers, and then he did like Unchained Medley and I Had the Time of My Life. He had a bunch of single like hits.
Yeah, he did a ton in the 80s.
He had like legit hits.
And from a guy who like was working with Phil Spector in the 60s to then be able to crank out a bunch of huge hits 20 years later too is pretty impressive, right? Because
Yeah.
the 80s weren't kind, and it's even more so now, right? Like weren't kind to like older rock stars really. Then again, I don't know, Kokomo was a huge hit. What am I talking about? I don't know. The 80s were fucking weird.
It's because it's a great song.
Because Kokomo's a good song.
Well, everyone just likes listing off warm tropical climates.
Bermuda, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to
take it.
to Bermuda.
So now we're from there we start with they drive up and we're getting a little bit more of Connie's narration here. And she said, we arrive at Daddy's new school. My life is over. I know I've used this phrase before, but I really do mean it this time. And this is when they pull up and they get out. I thought it was weird that they went to the school first.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've made it all that way. We're going to stop real quick before we get to the house. I'd be like, let me out of this fucking car right now.
Yep.
Like,
Because they don't even show him do anything at the school at this point.
He went to the school, but he lives on campus. The house is on campus.
Yeah, I thought that they pulled up to a manor. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. But their house is also on like Sorority Row. Which is like, I wanted fucking Ogre to be on the fucking roof. Like, Coach!
Yeah, so he gets out. He's like, oh, do you feel that? Breathe the air. And, telling all the kids to breathe. And then this turns into somehow JR is hyperventilating in the back seat. His way of like fixing that is to dump everything out of a brown bag and just put it over his head.
Yeah.
I've seen breathing into a bag, but I don't know how putting a bag over your head's going to help.
Same thing.
Same way. You're breathing in the CO2.
Has anybody here ever hyperventilated into a bag before?
No.
No, I've never.
No,
but I mean,
hyperventilated.
it's really simple science behind.
No, I understand. I'm just wondering if anyone has ever had to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I mean, I might have hyperventilated and not realized I was hyperventilating before, but
Yeah, I just meant like have you ever like done the bag thing like the
Don't make me think if I've ever hyperventilated because I've become a hypochondriac and I don't want to start.
I was gonna be walking around with paper bags.
I think it's gonna be changed in our generation because we just like handle anxiety in a very different way.
Yeah, drugs.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do I have a beer I can crack open?
If you're having like a panic attack, they say like suck on a warhead or something like that. And it will it'll distract your brain.
Actually, yeah, I've heard that.
I have tested the if you get too high, which I do get too high pretty easily,
Yes. Go on.
is lemon juice.
That's like equal to what Jay said with the warhead.
Yeah. And it's not even like a distraction thing. Like I think it has something to do with like the sensations sharing receptors in your brain, and it like blocks I don't know exactly how it works, but I think there's more science to it than just like distracting.
Interesting.
So we cut to the four daughters and you just see them all talking together. And they're like, what is this place? There's nothing beyond those buildings with grass and trees and dirt. That must be what ground looks like before they pave it. So they are New York kids.
But like that's a bit much though, right? Like he's a coach.
Yeah.
He's a football coach. They know what grass is, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but they're also teenage girls. They only know boys, boys, boys.
And yeah, well, they do ask here, like, where are the guys at? And we'll find out in a moment, not far away. We cut back to the parents, and the two of them are talking, and they're excited because they're about to go to their house. It's the first time they've lived in a house together. They've always been in an apartment. Like, the moment gets them to start, like, snuggling up a little bit, but the kids are not far behind, so they kind of give them that little and and like, hey, sorry to ruin this moment, but can we go home now? But I think by that they meant home.
It should have been, we are home.
Yeah, they meant home New York. And
Yeah.
they were like, hey, we get like hey, if any of you don't want to give this wonderful place a chance and want to only wallow in your old selfishness, raise your hands. And you see all the kids raise their hands, including the dog.
The dog raising his hand was fun. It's hard not to laugh at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like this setup, though. It's like the optimistic dad and the bratty teenage kids, like, always being at odds.
Very Griswold.
It's very Griswold. It's also a little Pete and Pete. I kind of get Pete and Pete dad vibes.
Yeah,
Okay.
He looks kind of like the Pete and Pete dad.
Yeah, he does.
Like when he's really happy when they dig out the Cutlass Supreme from the sand that day. And he's driving it home and he's like, it's got headlights. Like, that feels very much like Bill Kirchenbauer's character in this.
great show. We should cover that.
I wonder if we've ever tried to attempt that before.
He's telling them, well, you guys don't get votes anyways. You're not old enough. And while he's talking to them, you start hearing like screaming, and you cut across the street and you just see like a boarding house for the school with like guys like packed up and flowing out of every window that are just so out of control fucking horny and want to fuck all of Graham's daughters that they're just screaming their heads off.
They're literally doing the dog in Looney Tunes thing where like their tongue rolls out and they're like, ooga, ooga.
It reminds you of like when like the Navy boats during World War II would like pull up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like this same exact interaction, only like these dudes have just been at war for 2 years and these kids were just at school.
They were just at school in California near San Francisco. Like, it's like so crazy. They weren't getting bombed in a Japanese island. Yeah.
And like, isn't it a little weird to think of like the idea that these guys are going nuts knowing that these girls' father is like right there too?
Yeah. It's,
Like, I'm not someone who would catcall a girl walking by to begin with. Like, that's not the human being I am. But I certainly wouldn't do it if like she was with her dad.
Yeah, I've never once catcalled a woman. I don't know how people can do that shit. It's weird. But you certainly don't do it if it's like, here's their big imposing father next to them. Especially when you're like a meek Catholic teenage glee club member.
he's a big, meaty football coach.
Because these guys are going fucking crazy when they see these girls.
Yeah, you would have thought that they never saw women before.
They haven't. They've been locked away in school.
That's true. Because this is also when we find out that it's an all-boys school, which was something that was not known when Graham took this job. So Sherry's like, hey, look, and points to a sign that says, we turn Catholic boys into Catholic men.
Look, my brain fucking broke, and I was like, I can't be on this episode and talk about this without Gordo editing out every single fucking thing I say.
I just think about what shitty Catholic boys we were. We tormented people at our small Catholic gatherings once a week.
The only one I ever fucking tormented deserved it because he was an asshole.
Bishop Mark Bishop.
No, Father Jerry, who, by the way, though, one thing you forget in time, though, when you look back is he was being an asshole because we were shitty kids.
Yes.
Like, you have to, like, as adults, you have to look back and acknowledge that we were assholes.
He chose that position.
No, it was chosen for him by God.
I mean, when he was in charge of the drop-in for all the hangout, it's like,
I'll never forget the maddest I've ever seen someone was when we snuck onto the roof of that building and yelled through the fan vent, Mark, this is God. His neck snapped so fast. He couldn't see us, but he knew exactly who it was.
Oh yeah, it was like an obvious, like, which 5 idiots are doing this right now?
that's funny because the fan trick is the oldest trick in the book.
Yep.
Still hits.
Now we get Connie's narration again, and it goes, April 26th, it's official. Today is the first day of the rest of my life.
See, she's being very hyperbolic when she's like, my life is over.
That's hyperbolic, yeah. Also, coming soon to our S1E1merch.com, we turn Catholic boys into Catholic men t-shirt with just all of our faces like the Pep Boys. Just a cartoon.
Please make that happen. I would
Please
love
make
that. Oh, man.
Did the father know that this was an all-boys school?
No, he
did not.
didn't realize
No,
that
he was
until
also
this moment.
caught off.
Did he not interview for this job? Like, did he not see the house? Did he not like?
No,
No, they go over it. Yeah.
they didn't like fly him out to interview to be a teacher.
Wait, also, I meant to ask this because I really did not watch a lot of Growing Pains. They were in New York?
That threw me off too because I don't recall
Guess so.
it being in New York because they're like in a cushy giant.
Yeah, they're in like
fucking
a
house.
nice like suburb. So but yeah, this guy lived in the city.
If you think of New York though, like Westchester borders the Bronx, right? Like you kind of hit like you're in the fucking city and then you're kind of in like more posh suburbs really quickly. So there's different parts of Brooklyn that are like super. That's a weird thing too. Like you're in Brooklyn, you're like, where are we?
Growing Pains was in Long Island.
So now we cut to the family all getting to the house, like and they're all walking up on the front porch. We have Sherry who like desperately has to go to the bathroom. And she's like, hurry up, like I gotta use the can. And her mom's like, ladies don't use language like that. They don't say they have to go to the can. They say ladies have to powder their noses. And then Joe said at the top of the episode is when she goes, okay, but if I don't get there quick, I might sneeze in my pants.
I think that was a poop joke.
That legit popped me.
That was a pee joke because she's got a pee.
Pee joke, yeah.
She said she had to go to the can. She never once said pee.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
is
fair,
true.
but I read that as like we've been driving all day. I've really got a pee scenario.
You could really have to poop from driving all day.
Well, I'll say, I mean, when you look at the divide and where me and Joe thought it, and the rest of you, it truly does speak to like.
It does, yeah.
As a member of Team Poop, I thought it was pee.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of John Lovitz. And get her a funnel. You have to pee out the window.
So Graham opens the door, and all the kids are about to rush in, and he goes, "Oh, hold it!" And he wants to like have like a little speech before they walk into their first house together. They're all like, kind of, Dad. He's like, "Hey, if what you guys have to do is a lot more important than listening to what your father has to say, then you know what? Go right in." And they all just head in.
There was this moment I noticed behind them, the windows were all boarded
I was
up.
going to ask if you guys
Yep.
clocked that because obviously we're going to get the reveal in a second because right now the two of them are talking about how great this is going to be. You know, they eventually like basically the two of them talk for a minute about how nice this is, and he picks her up to walk her through the threshold because he was unable to do it at their wedding. And she goes, "Yeah, that's right. You had that pulled groin." And I was like, "Is that?" She said it kind of sexually.
Maybe she pulled the groin.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. 'Cause
Yeah.
she said it kind of.
It makes sense. They would have banged on their what's it called, the honeymoon, so that when they were coming back to their first place, he would have had a pulled groin.
I can also see too that she was pregnant when they got married. This also feels very much like I got Italian there for a
Much
second.
alike.
That was Bruno Sammartino for like half a second there. Lavini. But it feels much like I almost did it again. I cut. What the fuck's happening? Like they were like high school sweethearts. He knocked her up, and they were like, "We have to get married," because it's like a very Catholic in the 70s scenario, you know.
But yeah, so as he's walking in, we find out this place is destroyed. But Ferg, I was going to ask if anyone, because I clocked it before they
Yeah.
walked in. I noticed the window. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
I didn't know. I know. I mean, the whole house is basically boarded up.
But before they ever walk in, the windows like has like two boards, like an X across them.
I didn't know there was an upscale version from AI on YouTube, so I watched like the really bad version that's on YouTube, so I
Oh.
did not notice it. It kind of looked like there was Vaseline on the screen for most of the time.
Nope. I noticed it because I went, that's really weird.
So yeah, they walk in and this place is rough, and you see the raccoon like run through and like run out. It's weird. Like what's weird about this apartment too is like it's not just that it's like in bad shape, but it looks like an abandoned home. Like there's like
Yeah.
there's like dust like an inch thick on things and cobwebs. Like what happened here?
It gave me Revenge of the Nerd vibes.
Yes, I thought there was going to be a montage. Yeah.
I was waiting for the montage. We never got it.
So I'll admit here.
You didn't watch?
What? I don't know what he said, but I'm going to edit it out anyways. I didn't quite understand the concept of the show at this point.
It was pretty clear.
At this point, you didn't understand
What did you
that
not
he
get
took a
7
job in
minutes into
California and the
this?
whole family moved out.
It's more than a quarter of the way into the show. What did you think? Like, what was your? Okay, if you didn't understand it, that's fine. But what were you thinking?
I thought that this guy bought a house and
He already said that
No,
the
he
house was given
didn't.
to him. Yes, he did.
Yeah, they said that it was talked about.
was it? Okay, maybe
They set them up with a house.
Oh, okay.
The house they're letting us use.
It's almost like watching a TV show on your phone in bed is not the best way to analytically watch a TV show.
I don't know. I watch half our shows on my phone.
But you've seen most of them before.
I was very confused as to why they were given a home.
What's the volume on your phone?
Yeah, I was listening on headphones. I didn't hear it.
We're in the house. We cut upstairs. We see a couple of the daughters are talking, Cindy and Wendy, who I believe are twins. I don't know if it's explained in this episode, though, but apparently those two are twins.
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
That's also a good way to, like, get 8 kids in and save a couple of years by being like, and 2 of them are twins. You, like, save yourselves 18 months there.
This is when they break down 7 kids and 3 bedrooms. And they're like, yeah, mom and dad are going to just have to sleep inside the car. And then, like, I was thinking about, like, the logistics of that, too, because the way it breaks down, because you have the 4 oldest daughters, then you have the 2 that are, like, kind of similar in age, but they're boy and girl, and then you have a baby. So, like, what is the best way to break that down? That's
that
a really tough
attic
situation.
is going to fit 4 kids. You can make an attic room.
That's the big thing, right? The attic comes up and it's an apartment, right? It's an attic that doesn't make sense for that house. It's much like the attic in the Full House house, which when I went to the Full House house, that attic is not anywhere feasible to be in that house line.
But what about the alcove? Did that make sense?
It does if Joey's not in it.
But yeah, so they're talking about that, and then we see Connie, like, peeking into the attic area, and that's when we see that, which I figured the idea would be you'd put the 4 oldest girls together up there, but that's not how they talk about it in the episode. I don't know how it, like, pans out afterwards.
Keep in mind, that's how the kids are talking. They don't get a choice.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's different if you have, like, Ferg and Gordo, you can speak to this, excuse me, the same way I can, right? We have siblings who are, you have a mix of boys and girls. Where, like, usually if there's one who is alone, they get their own room, right? Like, if there's one boy, they get a room. If there's one girl, they get their own room, and everybody bunks up. So I imagine they're doing it by
Gender.
Yeah, gender.
But even if they do it that way, then they have to put Sherry with the 4 oldest daughters.
That's fine.
Junior or JR has to be with the baby.
I mean, that's the fight in Full House too, right? Like,
So it's a weird.
Again, stop fucking. Like, you nobody can afford a house that
8
big. Like,
kids is too many kids. It's a lot of fucking kids. On a teacher's salary.
Listen, you don't need to go work the farms anymore, sir. You don't need farmhands. You can stop.
yeah.
I suppose the baby probably is going to sleep with the parents for a while.
Yeah.
And the new baby that's coming.
Oh, 2 babies.
Yeah, the baby and the new baby are probably in the kid's room for 2 years apiece, right? Because you can give it that, right? Where, like, one baby's in for 2 years. Once the one baby wants to be in the bed, the other kid gets moved into a bedroom somewhere or a closet.
Yeah, there's just no way this works. But
Get like a Quonset hut in the backyard and be like, we're camping. Just like put the kids out there. It's California. It doesn't get that cold.
next scene, we see Marie, and she's running down the stairs, and that's where her parents are. Like, she's running down into the living room, and she says, "This looks like something out of Nightmare on Elm Street."
Ah!
Which is also the second Nightmare on Elm Street reference we get, and not the last.
So, I mean, obviously at this point, I will say, like, maybe it's because the version or whatever. I think you guys said it in the past, but I didn't remember. So I didn't, like, catch that was Nancy at first. Like, it just glasses.
So in this world, though, the movie exists, and she's Nancy, and Nancy's in the movie, and this actress exists.
Yep.
So it's funny that they do the little, like, wink here. And the parents are like, don't, you shouldn't be so negative. She's like, who's being negative? I love it. There could be bodies everywhere.
I do like that she's, like, dark and into horror movies, and it's not
she's
weird.
awesome.
Because you could write that 2 different ways, right? You have to be like, that movie's scary. Who would want to watch that? Like, you can make that joke that way, too, you know?
Heather Langenkamp's awesome. She stayed in the business all this time. Now her and her husband run, like, this huge creature shop stuff.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they have... I should have had it ready, but yeah, they do, like... They did all the special effects for the movie Cabin in the Woods. Had thousands of creatures and stuff.
She was in, like, one of the most recent Hellraisers, too. Like, she still pops up and does stuff.
She does, like, all those, like, horror conventions and stuff, too. Like, she knows where her money's at.
Also, Ferg, I know you've seen it, but if anybody hasn't, the, like, 7-hour Never Sleep Again documentary
So good.
is fucking amazing. It is. That and the RoboDoc documentary that came out a couple years ago, which is like a 6-hour RoboCop Part 1 documentary. That's the crazy thing, is the RoboDoc one is just about RoboCop 1, and it's as long as the crazy long Nightmare on Elm Street franchise documentary, but they're both amazing.
She like heads like straight into the kitchen and goes like, wow, this kitchen looks like a torture chamber. And then like the parents head in to see what she's talking about. And like, again, it's like, it's rough in there. And there's just like this big knife that's just like shoved into the countertop.
Very ominous.
It's fucking huge.
It's a very big butcher
Yeah.
knife, yeah. Also, it's a huge butcher block, too. Like, to actually forcibly be able to stab that and make it stick would take a lot of thrust and force. Like, I don't think I could do that.
That's probably Jason, not Freddy.
Yes, it also feels a little more, yeah, second franchise.
And then, you know, we're cutting around a lot after that. Again, this is like the tough part when it comes to like explaining a show like this. There's just so much movement and so much characters, so many characters. But we see like JR at one point who's practicing for his next fight because he's like, take that, you Californian. And
Kid sucks.
That's what he was gonna do first. I was looking at Ferg frantically trying to unmute himself to go like, we fight on the 8th.
then like a couple of the other girls join them. And we get the argument now where Cindy's telling Connie that she has to like share a room with Sherry. Again, there's not enough rooms for that to work if just those two girls had a room and then the 3 oldest girls shared a room together, because now we're already out of bedrooms. There's no bedroom for the 2 boy children.
Where do the parents sleep? So is this a 4-bedroom house?
3 bedroom. So there's only 2 for the kids.
There's 3 bedrooms and 10 people.
I knew that giant attic is the only answer.
It is.
Right. Which I'm sure is like how they end up resolving it. And they're all kind of going into like the like, well, I'm oldest, I get to pick, and you know, all this and that.
That's a very realistic conversation. How kids would argue.
Oh, sure. I mean, this is like an important argument. Like this is one
Yeah.
worth, this is like pick your battle type arguments. This is one that you absolutely should be arguing.
I remember growing up in a 3-bedroom house, right? I have 2 siblings. One's a girl, so my brother and I shared a room. My sister had her own room. When my brother like moved out,
That was the
his, like,
opposite.
first apartment, I was like, I thought I was in fucking heaven. I was like, I have a whole room to myself. I can't even imagine what it'd be like having that argument against 8 other people. It's crazy.
Yeah, like when we
Yeah.
were kids, I shared a room with my brother, and then we also had a playroom. So eventually, as we got older, we got rid of the playroom and had like a bedroom each.
And then we hung out in that playroom all the time. That was where your computer was, or your TV was.
Yeah, that was like at one point it was just full of toys.
I was gonna say until Jay's stuff took over the whole half of the room.
I think most of the posters that are on your wall right now were on the wall in that room, right? The Spinal Tap one.
Some of them, the Spinal Tap one's down right now. The ones that are up here, newer. I don't know if any of these were from back then, actually.
I don't know. I don't see the one of the 2 women that said kiss.
Man, what a weird fucking thing that was. It was just like, it was that and like the girls' butts with the Pink Floyd thing painted on them.
Yep.
We're just like, this is what people's bedrooms are. Like, what? Why?
For every young boy that had posters of girls in their room, I had the most tasteful one. Mine was art.
I had Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
And then behind my head, I had Fred Durst.
So as a young boy, when he was discovering himself, he's like, don't turn your head, don't turn your head.
Ferg's bedroom looks exactly the same now at 40.
Yeah, Cindy walks down and she's like, hey, I'm going to run down to the store and buy some lipstick. Like Wendy's like, there's not going to be any lipstick at that store. This is like an all boys school. Like, and then like realizes that she's going to be there and it's going to be all boys. And it's like, oh, you know, I think I need some lipstick too. And then like right as they're about to like head out, we have Marie run in with the baby and she's like, oh, Mom said it's Cindy's turn to like change the baby. So now Wendy's going to like go to the store by herself. I didn't quite understand why she couldn't wait like 2 seconds. It doesn't take that long to
Yeah.
change the baby.
Because they're in competition for the best boy.
There's 8,000 boys.
But there's only one best boy.
Right.
But I do agree, like, if you know how to change a diaper, you can get that done pretty lickety split.
So why can't the mother change the diaper? She made the baby.
They take turns.
I like just like a glimpse into Ferg, who is a parent. I don't want to change the diaper. I want to make the baby.
I made the baby. I would change the diaper. This goes back to what I was saying about how none of the kids have a different personality, at least in this episode. They're all the same person.
They are.
Yeah, they get like turned into like
Boy
two
crazy.
kids. Yeah.
See, I feel like to a degree,
Other than Heather Langdon can't be in the torture chamber.
she's a little darker, and then we have Connie, who's the one who's like writing and a little bit. She's in the boys too. Obviously, they're all teenage girls, but I feel like the two oldest girls, the twins, are the ones that really don't have much that distincts like one from the other than like one's blonde and one has like brown hair. Like other than that, they're the same character.
Yeah, I just think it was too short a time to introduce that many people.
Well, yeah, it's tough. You're trying to try to make like that many distinct characters in that short time frame. On top of the fact that like this episode not only just introduced us to the family, but there's other people involved. So we go to his work and we meet characters there, like his boss and coach and stuff like that. So like,
Yeah,
it's a lot to put into one episode. They probably could have found a way to trim that down and just focused on the family for this episode, but
You have one be the airhead, you have one be the science geek, you have one be the morbid one, you have one be the on and on. There's all these sitcom tropes. There's plenty of them by this point in sitcom history.
yeah.
They can all have a different personality right now.
I get too that it makes it easier for writing, right? Like it's 10
Yeah.
characters. You can change storylines per episode, but like this show could easily be just the 6 of us. And like that name still works and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's still a big family, right? Like that's no different than calling it step by step or something, right? Like it doesn't have to be 10. There's nothing that says like this works differently.
I mean, a couple years after the show gets removed from TGIF, we get Step by Step, and Step by Step has 6 kids, the 2 parents, a Cody. You know what I mean? Like it's another big family, but they do find a way to differentiate the characters a little bit more.
I do get though, even on union scale, right? You've got 10 main actors, you've got the coach, you've got the priest, you've got everyone who pops in for episodes. How many kids were in this who were like just Glee Club boys working in the attic, right? Like there's a lot of money spent on this episode just in people.
Extras.
Now, if they're extras and they say anything, the money bumps up, right? Like that's like the weird thing about it. So like if you're just an extra and you don't say anything, that's a pay scale. If you have a line, you become a guest star, and that's a different pay scale.
That's why they had the dad close the door every time they were gonna sing.
We'll get there.
Saving
but
money.
There was a scene later where like these are not stunt actors, and like some kid definitely broke his knees.
Yep.
It's so
Yeah.
fucking funny.
So the parents enter the area all the kids are at this point. This is when Elizabeth's telling Graham, like, oh, you better like get your change of clothes and head over to work. And like, you have like that like interview or whatever, not interview, but like, he has to get like meet up with them, some meeting set up. And he's like, oh, I don't know if now's a good time because, everything going on here right now. So, don't worry about it. Like me and the kids will get the place, tidied up while you're gone. And then we get Wendy like ratting out Cindy, like, oh, except Cindy, she's out trolling. Trolling? She doesn't even know anything about fishing. No, but she knows what she likes.
I fucking died at this joke. I don't know why it caught me the way it did, but when he said trolling, I knew exactly where he was going. He's like, trolling, she doesn't know anything about fishing. I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. And that happens very rarely. And I don't fish either. I don't know. There's something just about that word and him being so upbeat, be like, she doesn't know anything about fishing, that literally just broke my brain in half. It was so fucking funny.
Which makes him like bolt down the stairs trying to stop her. And then we see like flash forward a little bit. Now he's like driving off. And we have Elizabeth on the porch with Wendy and Cindy. So Elizabeth, the mother, by the way, because I know I'm dumping a lot of names constantly. So for those listening,
it is very hard to go by character name in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I have a list up on my phone because it's tough, especially when you know them from Nightmare on Elm Street. I keep wanting to call her Nancy.
Yeah. So she's seeing her husband off with the 2 daughters, and she's talking to them really quick, like, oh, we got a bunch of work to do. She heads in, and the 2 girls that are still out there hear some like noise from like over the fence, and they like walk a little closer, and then like you just see like 10 boys like pop up over the fence and are just like staring over at them. Like,
I wish the last one was Wilson.
Yeah. Howdy ho, Baberino. Like, woo, the cops come.
and one's like, oh, gee, we almost have enough for a ball team.
Oh, there's a ball team, all right.
It's weird, like I especially like this time where like creepy dudes is like in sitcom world, like girls are like happy and receptive towards it, whereas like if it was in today's world, like that's not how that would play out. Like, that's not how it would play out in a scene, at least.
Which is better. It's good. I mean, we always bring it up, right? Like, fucking Revenge of the Nerds. Like, that whole movie, when you watch it now, you're like, this is funny, but like, holy shit, this is bad. This is like really hard to stomach in a 2026 world, you know?
I remember last time we brought it up, you were like, better times, man, better times.
No, I was talking about Porky's. I was like, I would love it when the gym teacher would put my dick through the hole. To be fair, that guy got a free hand job.
What's the problem?
Why is he so mad?
So
Porky's also another movie that's problematic like crazy.
So after we see all these boys creeping over the top, we cut to the next scene, and then that's Graham, who's at the school now, and he's like getting ready to head into like the office for the first time. He's like talking to himself for a second, trying to get ready. Eventually he heads in, and we see a kid in there who's like apparently had like a task to do, like clean up all the towels that he'd been like procrastinating. And he thought the coach was walking in, so he was like scurrying around now, trying to get everything done in time. And Graham's like, hey, take it easy, you're gonna have a stroke. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were Coach Johnson. Then you hear a voice from outside the room, and it's, I'm back. And I pray to God those towels get picked up. And you just see him like start, scurrying around again.
He prays to God, but he also prays to Jobu, and that's who makes you have to be really careful.
And Buddha, the sequel.
That's true. The terrible sequel.
It's not terrible.
This is when we meet Dwayne the Coach Johnson.
If you smell.
Oh my God. He just won that Oscar for the Smashing Machine, right?
Well, this is Dennis Haysbert, and Dennis Haysbert,
Pedro Serrano?
as Pedro Serrano, as you guys mentioned, or the Allstate guy.
Holy shit.
Yo, that's where I know him from. Okay.
Yeah.
Pedro Serrano's been on I have Allstate. Oh, no, I don't. I have Progressive. Never mind.
His turn in Heat is like heartbreaking. He's like the emotion of Heat. When he gets killed after they pull him out of the, like...
Oh, spoiler alert.
Heat came out in 1995. I don't give a shit. His story arc in Heat, though, breaks my fucking heart to a point where they even know where they cut to his girlfriend watching the news drinking alone at a bar, which is also weird. That's like, your boyfriend got killed in a fucking bank robbery today. Like, I don't know. I think that's like the most amazing thing he's ever done. And I love him in fucking Major League, and you see him all the time in the commercials, but man.
You really think Major League 2 sucks?
I don't think it sucks. I just think it's nowhere near as good as the first one.
I love Major League 2.
I also really love Major League 3, though.
No.
How do you love 1 and 3 and hate 2?
Scott Bakula, Walton Goggins.
This is the same man who likes Grease 2 more than Grease 1.
That's true.
Reproduction.
Where does the pollen go?
Yeah, the best song in any Grease movie ever.
No, in that Grease. Best song in that Grease. But anyways, here's the thing. So this part was, I mean, we find out later, it kind of gets explained, but he walks in and then Graham's like, Dwayne? He didn't even know that the job he took in California would be at the same place where Dwayne was someone he used to coach back in New York.
I will say this, to be critical, they take a little bit they take too much time to explain that they're not contemporaries, that they are former coach and pupil.
Yeah.
Because that is a little confusing at first. You're like...
Yeah, when they're both adults, they look the same age. Like,
right, it's hard to gauge that. So, like, and then they say that and you're like, I don't think they're that much of a difference of age. I didn't look it up, but I would assume they're not coach and player age difference.
Right. And just the fact that they don't bring it up, we don't know what role... We know he's a coach now, so coach isn't a coach. Like,
Yeah, I thought he was a coach.
Well, I mean, there's assistant coach, there's like special teams. I'm just saying, should I know? Because I don't know anything about sports and football. But like, I know there's multiple coaches, right?
I thought,
Yeah.
So this is me also not understanding this show, because I thought this was at a college. St. Agatha's or whatever they're called, that could have been a college name.
I mean, it's got a college vibes. I can't fault you for thinking that.
Yeah, like Notre Dame or something like that, you know.
but I was just thinking like the
lesser
fact that
ones.
like, so he's taking a job across the country, and then also like, you just think because he has a relationship with this guy, even if he didn't know you'd think he would be like, oh, isn't he coaching out in California at a school like that? Like, you would know something about him.
Yeah, he'd like have some like keeping track of his pupils who are doing well.
Apparently the wife keeps track.
That new baby's coming out looking a little different.
They see each other, they get super excited, and I would say also like the way that the two of them like embrace one another and were laughing, like I thought was well done. It was especially like just from Coach Johnson's standpoint, like I thought his acting here was really good because it felt very genuine.
I agree, but I feel like this also is what makes the confusion. He's like, "You're still bald." He's like, "You're still black." That to me is more two friends talking, not an adult and a child who have this rapport with each other. That is weird to me. They're both adults now, but like that's obviously them like redoing a joke from when they used to know each other, and that's really weird.
And there's a lot of jokes that get thrown in just because they want the payoff later, because like right after that it's like, oh, I bet you still can't brake to the left. Oh, I bet you still have to go to the can every time you get emotional, which is like such a weird single thing to bring up about a person.
Never a bald joke though. It's always something stupid when it's about him. I think it would have been like, "You're still black. You're still bald." Like,
well, it made me think that they played ball together somewhere.
I think that would have been the better scenario.
Like, that's what I thought, because, all right, this guy doesn't look like a coach. Oh, maybe he played football back in the day.
You do it as senior and freshman. You give them the 3 years, and that one was like a mentor relationship, but they were still kids, and it makes more sense,
I don't know. It just, the show didn't make sense to me.
So that kid who was like cleaning up the towels, like, wow, you guys really know each other. That's really beautiful. He's like, I don't believe you finished cleaning up the locker room. He's like, now move it, mister. So he like goes back and starts doing his stuff, and the two head into the actual office. They were like in like the pre-locker room office area. Graham's like, oh, you're a little harsh on that kid, weren't you? He's like, no, rougher than you were on me. He's like, well, I had to be. You're a little snot-nosed kid who thought you knew everything. He's like, I still am. Talks about how glad he is to see him, and how that Father Hargis, the dean, it was like looking for someone for weeks trying to fill this position, and how lucky it was that you were available. I was like, yeah, well, I was lucky that I was, I took this job over the many other offers I had. Like they're trying to like make it clear that like he didn't have options.
We're not crazy. I just looked it up. In real life, they are 1 year apart.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
As you know, he was his he coached him as he was his coach. He was the quarterback. You just make him his right tackle. He protected him, and that's why they're close. Something like that.
Yeah.
Needle dick.
There is a parking meter outside of my work, and someone has written in like whiteout needle dick, and no one has noticed for like 4 years.
You noticed.
I noticed.
Who's that for though? Is it for like the meter maid?
Yeah, I think so. Like someone got angry enough and wrote needle dick.
Or is that like when like this would happen all the time on the T? You'd be sitting there and you'd like look up and somebody would have like flipped the sign around that said like, whatever advertisement and marker wrote like, this person's gay with an arrow down. Like that would always happen on the train. You're like, what are you doing? Why is this like the joke you're making? But like, I guess, and you don't see it, I guess, either.
Yeah.
You're making a joke for other people. I don't know.
I'll take a picture.
But that was the whole time we were kids. There were no pictures to be taken. I was just like, it just seemed like a long game that you weren't part of.
Yeah.
So they're catching up. And he's Graham's like, hey, maybe we'll have another championship team. I don't remember being on a winning team coached by you. Like, what? We went to all city finals one year. What are you, crazy? And then Dwayne pulls out the game ball. He's like, oh, you kept the game ball. He's like, of course I did. It was the first time I was ever a winner. And I wouldn't have been if you didn't kick my butt around the block on a regular basis. And I wanted to thank you for that. And then he goes, I got to go to the can. Because, anytime he gets emotional. And then as that happens, before he walks in and then he pops out with he finds out that he has his own private bathroom. He's like, oh, nice. And then like has one of those sandy seats. He's like, ooh, very fancy. Do you guys, if you have to use a public bathroom, do you use those?
No, I hate them.
No,
I don't like them.
If it's available, yes.
I was going to clock Joe as being the one person to do it.
I was going to say that makes sense. I'll use toilet paper before I use those. I just don't like the sensation on my butt.
I wear tube socks, and so I just slide tube sock on each side of the.
No, it's just something about sitting on it. I don't know, when like when it goes pitter patter and hits it, it just feels weird because it's like pulling against my back.
Right. So
It shouldn't be hitting it. Why is it
Why
hitting
are you
it?
hitting it?
You know
why
that's
is
the
it
proper
hitting-
way to use those, right?
No, you put it over the seat. You sit on it.
No.
Nothing that comes out of you should be hitting that.
Time out. Let me school you boys on some poop education here.
We're like 10 seconds from hearing the classic overlay of Gordo's wife yelling at him from the other room.
No, I'm telling you, okay? There's a little hole part in the middle that's supposed to sit in the water so that you don't make splashback.
No, you rip that off.
You don't rip it off. You're supposed to just rip it at the top 3 seams and then let the middle thing flop into the water.
Okay. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Where did do yours come with instructions?
yeah. Anytime I've ever seen one, I was just like, I guess I'll put this over the shape.
I read them before. In my book, I wrote the book on pooping. I'm telling you.
No. You wrote a book on pooping. I'm not gonna. Hey, Dickens. Let's not get too crazy here, okay? You wrote a
He's
book on
Poopins,
pooping.
not Dickens.
It was the best of times. It was the poop of times. Like, oh, thanks, Gordo.
so so now we have Father Hargis walks in while Graham's in the bathroom, and he's talking to Coach Johnson, and he's telling him that he needs a favor. Like, you're the boss. He's like, all right, well, I have this opportunity, and it's something for the school. So basically, I need you to meet with some gentlemen who's expressed interest in donating a large sum of money to the school, our school. Like, and you want me to meet with them? He's like, yeah, and it has nothing to do with you being black. He's like, I'm black? He looks at his hand and goes, ah! Oh, my God.
Now, at this point, before what happens, but did you think that he had to speak with this other guy about getting the job that was promised to the coach? Because that's what I was clocking.
Speak with this other guy about the job that was.
I thought he offered Coach the job, but now the priest wanted him to interview this other guy.
Oh, no, I didn't get that vibe. I thought this was just a totally separate circumstance where this guy is planning on donating and he wants him to be like the spearhead in the discussion.
You know what I thought was kind of weird at this point was, I think the whole, like, he needs a black guy to talk to whoever it is to get funds is fine. And I thought his reaction to the, wait, I'm black was really funny. But I felt like it was weird to bring up that he was black twice so soon.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that initial one with Graham should have been cut. Like, here it makes sense, but when Graham mentions it, it just seems a little weird.
Yeah, it's forced.
And also Frank Bonner, Herb from WKRP in Cincinnati, which we've covered before, a classic sitcom character, which also means we can now technically cover the new WKRP in Cincinnati that he's in as well. The like weird reboot in the 90s. That's not a reboot. It's kind of just like we were gone for a while, but we're back.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how many new versions of shows there are to see if there was enough to do a month of them.
A new month. Yeah.
But that's the story for another day.
I feel like you can take some leeway though, like we'd mentioned a few weeks ago, 714 Hauser Street, because like that's like technically it's the new All in the Family.
Yeah, but some of like the ones that are like distinctly named.
New, yeah.
But anyways, we'll keep an eye out. We may or may not do that in the future. If not, we'll just do the episodes as they come. They're talking, and he's like, oh, go ahead and have your fun, Dwayne, but you still owe me. I hired that Lubbock friend of yours, didn't I? And then like Graham, who's heading back in from the bathroom, like corrects him, goes, Lubbock. He's like, whatever. We didn't even need that guy. In fact, I was doing you a favor, and realizes that he's behind him and turns around and is like, oh, welcome to the St. Augustine family.
It's just forced exposition. I don't like that.
I feel like that happens a lot.
I don't mind him, like, there's a reason that he came out here, like, and that Coach went out of his way. It all kind of ties into stuff later.
Why is he telling him he's something he already knows?
Yeah, he's spelling it out very obvious for us, clearly.
Later on, we find out from the wife, the big surprise. We don't need this twice. It seems like just double dipping in the episode.
Yeah. But we needed Graham to not want to be there anymore, I guess. So that kind of ties that, him hearing all this stuff.
Also, I don't understand why that makes him not want to be there. He gets to live in nicer weather, and now he has a house. He got a free house.
I was bringing the same thing up. I think every one of us have fallen upwards in our careers at some point, right? And if somebody told you, like, hey, you know, you have like a better job now than you did with better hours and better money, that was because somebody liked you and thought that you'd be good for this job, even though you weren't qualified for it, you'd be like, thank you. You'd never be like, I'm going back to the apartment with my 10 kids. That's fucking crazy.
But again, it's like, if the pride gets in the way, it's like, you don't want to hear it. You want to like, he got a call for a job and he like, everything was like looking up for him and like, it just tainted the moment. So he gets back home. We see him get to the front porch, the dog sitting there. And it was one of those, so how was your day? And the dog barks. He goes, yeah, mine was a little rough too.
I mean, we do dog voices a lot in this show. I think no one's going to be mad about that, right? It was a rough day today. How did you do, Coach?
Why don't you go inside and have a beer?
And then he walks inside and his wife's there to greet him with the tray with the beer and salami on it.
Fucking angel. Salted meats, and that's not even a tall boy. That's a king can. That is a 24-ounce beer and a
like
plate
those
full of
fucking
salami.
giant Foster's cans.
Yeah, that is. I call those now because of the Johnny Depp trial mega beers. So like for the store, like there's always like that like section up front where it's like, do you want like 2 fucking High Lifes in one can? Like, yes, I do. Mega beer time. And I've definitely had the point where my wife has been like, why do you need that? Like, babe, mega beer. Like, it's become a thing where it's like, but it's a mega beer.
You can walk home with your mega beer.
I do feel like, Joe, this just probably spoke to you more than the rest of us, because a beer and then just I know that like one of your go-tos, like your love of pepperoni.
Yeah, it's not salami, it's pepperoni, but like if I walked in from a tough day at work, my wife was like, here was a 24-ounce High Life and a plate of pepperoni, I'd be like, I'd marry you all over again.
Right?
It's a very Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Now, if I was to think salami specifically, then my eyes go to Nick.
Yeah, as I say, Nick is the Italian sandwich king, yeah.
If I get to pick, it's Soprasad, so, I mean, same thing.
I would do
just
prosciutto.
higher quality.
I would pick the gabagool.
Prosciutto's a little too salty.
I love prosciutto. That's obviously that's well documented amongst you guys. But I'll tell you, a lot of those other ones, and I say this as an Italian, a lot of those Italian meats, man, you line them up and they're all very similar.
They all taste the same.
I think that's why I like pepperoni so much. I think it's the one that's the most unique of all of them. I also think it's the most receptive to mustard. Like pepperoni, cheese, and mustard is like an amazing... No, pepperoni, cheese, and mustard is like maybe one of the best sandwiches of all time.
That's a good sandwich. I don't want to say of all time.
Joe, have you tried the pepperoni they have at Target, the Applegate Farms one? It's like that big.
No, but I will be going to Target tomorrow now.
Wicked good. I always eat it when I'm on keto.
All right, I'm in.
She hands him the tray and he's trying to sit down and like she's like rushing him over to the couch. She's really like she's doing nice things, but she's smothering him. He's clearly trying to tell her something and he's not like able to get a word out. And then he finally like, they're on the couch and he finally like kind of has to scream. And she's like, what? I'm sorry. And it was like, I know she was trying to do good, but like she was all over him and you just see him struggling. He's having a rough day. He's trying to tell her something and he can't get a single word out.
She's being wicked annoying.
No, you know what? She stayed in the home all day and fixed up that dump. It's beautiful now.
It's not. Oh, no. Ferg, it is far from beautiful.
He's clearly upset and trying to get through a sentence, and she will not let him. It's infuriating to watch. I can only imagine what it would be like in his shoes. 20 years earlier, he's throwing a punch, I'm telling you.
I mean, I understand. And again, I get she's trying to do the right thing. She's been fixing up the house. She bought the salami. That's the same one that they would have in New York. All this stuff. But you just see him keep trying to talk and she keeps cutting him off. And like, I'm looking at it through his eyes at that point. And yeah, it gets to the point where he's just like, will you let me finish?
I also think she low key knows what happened at work because she's been in contact with Dwayne.
Yeah, like Dwayne definitely called her and was like, hey, it's gonna be rough when you get home. And she went out and bought some salami, yeah.
She's been buying that salami.
I agree.
No, she's been getting salami for free.
I wouldn't say free. I would say 8 kids at 18
true.
years times college education. Those kids are not free.
Salami just probably falls out now.
Oh. She's got a Z section.
And Sherry's saying like, hey, Mom, the chicken's brown. Now what do I do? She's like, oh, I'll show you. And she's like going to run out. And he's like, where are you going? Like, it's like, I've been trying to talk to you.
Why is the child cooking? She's like one of the youngest kids.
Chicken is the most dangerous meat to not cook well. So like when she's like, "Is the chicken okay?" She's like, "I have to go in and check on our kid cooking chicken."
I think pork would be the most dangerous.
No, chicken is salmonella.
Yeah, I think undercooked chicken is like the most because
Well,
salmonella.
regardless, I mean, like, yes, she's the youngest daughter, but she was trying to do something nice for. I don't know if she's cooking for all of them. That's a lot of chicken.
So let her make a turkey painting for him. She doesn't need to be cooking dinner.
I will say this, look, as somebody who's read a lot of kid books, it's always like, "Thank you, Miffy. This drawing you made for me is wonderful." I've not read one kid book that was like, "Thank you, Miffy. This chicken parm you made is above average and healthy, and I put my thermometer in it and no one's getting salmonella."
So she runs in to help, and then now Graham's all by himself in the room. He just says out loud to nobody, "Elizabeth, we're going back to New York." There, I said it. And then we get a knocking at the door, and he gets up and opens it, and then we just see like a sea of young men who happen to be the St. Augustine Glee Club who want to greet all the girls.
It was a sea of young men.
And they start with their song, "Welcome to our world," and he slams the door on them.
This threw me off too because like you think of like St. Augustine, like I thought it was Florida. Like I had that weird thing where I was like warm, sunny. Like I would have called them maybe something that was a little less Florida because they're California. I've been like, I don't know, St. Francis. You can say anything that isn't like also the name of a place. It's not where they're at.
So they do this joke about, is it 3 times or 4? But
It's 3 or 4, yeah.
I think they go to the well too many times. I laughed twice. The third time I was like, all right, I get it.
I think you cut out the middle one and you leave the last one.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
last one seemed important.
Yeah.
So he slams the door, and then as soon as he slams it, he hears noise upstairs. So he starts heading upstairs, and like before he gets to the noise is coming from the attic. But when he gets to the second floor, we see JR come down, and he's like taking a drink order from everybody upstairs, and they cross paths. Eventually, we cut to upstairs in the attic, and we see like all the dudes who are creeping over the fence are now like doing work and like also talking to the girls. And Wendy and Cindy are there. And like the conversation they're having too is like, I agree with Wendy. I don't think there's anything wrong with posing in the nude if it's done for the sake of art. And then Wendy's like, I'd do it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, okay, so think about this. Their main female role model has been pregnant 8 times. Okay, they have no barometer, outside of their mother. So they think that this is how it needs to go. They need to start getting pregnant and talking about getting naked
I don't know
in front
about
of a bunch
them
of kids.
just thinking they need to get pregnant. I will say, like,
I don't know.
in
They're
general,
getting free labor on the upstairs.
So
like,
I was going to bring that up. We're going to get to that. That he goes upstairs and kicks them all out, but you just got rid of a bunch of free labor.
No, I get it. I 1,000% get it.
Hopefully he didn't hear if he didn't hear the conversation, it would have been bloodshed. Imagine hearing them talking about like,
no, there certainly was bloodshed. As Joe brought up earlier, one of them bust their ass.
Yeah, this does not go well when they get sent down 3 flights of stairs, yeah.
It takes a pretty decent bump.
obviously kids are hormonal like that. I get it. They're teenagers. Everyone's fucking horny. Just the idea of the conversation being about like posing nude and stuff seemed a little wild.
It's possible like you're hearing it out of context, but it sounds like the girls are the ones piloting this conversation.
That's kind of how I took it too. Like they're bringing it up.
I don't think one of the guys has a line.
No, none of them talk.
No, they're just hammering, like dance hammering.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically on MTV's The Grind. The whole
Also,
time.
they're all like wearing matching tank tops. Like, I don't know why they like. I understand why the Glee clubs dress the same, but why are all the dudes that are just hanging out over the fence dressed the same?
Uniforms.
What uniform were those?
I mean, it looks like maybe like their gym wear. or
Yeah, they're
whatever.
sports. They're athleisure wear. That's the term now, right? Athleisure.
So the father heads upstairs, sees what's going on, grabs a saw. He's like, "Hey, does this thing work?" And like, next scene, you just see everyone just shooting down the stairs. All the guys.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's very like Buster Keaton. It's like these are a bunch of fucking teenagers who are not stunt workers, who are just like, I think about this all the time. Like when we did that wrestling match or like different things we did when we were kids, we were like, when you're 17, you're like, yeah, you could throw me down a flight of stairs. I'm sure I'll be fine. And you are.
Now I get hurt getting out of bed.
Yeah, now constantly. I went to a chiropractor yesterday. Like things are different as you get older.
It's just funny too, though, when they run down the stairs. It's not like they all run down and he's chasing them. He's in the middle of that
He
pile
is.
with them.
Yeah, there's
running
something
down the
behind him. It's so weird.
Also, very Looney Tunes, right? Where like he's in the maelstrom coming down the
Yeah,
stairs.
you needed the puff of smoke around them all.
Yeah, one kid took it real bad heading out, like one of the last kids.
That kid had to explain to his like physical therapist 20 years later, but like, you ever seen Just 10 of Us? And that girl who was 25 went, no. And he had to just go, I felt working. Like he had to like sadly just put his head down. Like, I'm sorry.
I made $23 for that fall.
Yeah, what was his like 80s scale for that day? Probably like, I got lunch. It was cool. I met some girls from Nightmare on Elm Street. And the 25-year-old went, what? Like, it's just so depressing getting old.
Like, oh, the Jackie Hurley movie?
Oh, when Freddy Krueger was a turtle?
What as brought up earlier. Maybe try to keep that free labor going a little bit longer. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
You go girls downstairs. And you yell at the girls downstairs and let that keep going, yeah.
No, it's fine. It's just, as long as he's up there too. Although maybe because he plans on leaving, he don't want the labor.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, he's not planning to stay now, yeah.
now they shut the door. There's a bit of chaos going on with the whole family, even after they're all gone. And they're mad. Dinner's ready. He's like, I gotta get out of here. So he's trying to just leave the house, opens the door. Somehow the choir's back already.
Yeah.
Slams the door on them again. I don't know. Did the choir walk up as these other boys are running out and like, we'll still take a shot?
The move to make is have them still be there and get trampled by the people running out.
Yeah.
Start singing the song again and then boom, crashed into.
Yep. All go out of pitch. Like at the same time. Like, hello, welcome to my...
They all run out and then within seconds that door's open and they're all back, but there's no sign of the other people.
So he slams the door again on them, and the girls are upset. And it's like, oh, now I can't show my face already here. It's like, well, that's not going to be an issue because we're not staying. And he just like storms into the kitchen, and Elizabeth's like, what are you talking about? And like tells all the kids like, hey, I suggest all of you guys go to your rooms right now and pray. And she like follows him into the kitchen. She's like, what's wrong? He's like, well, the most recent thing is I thought I was heading into the bedroom. This is the way it would have been in our old apartment, but now I'm in the kitchen. And then she goes, the same thing happened to me before we left. And I was like, I didn't get that joke.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
What was the joke? Say it. Can you say it again?
She went to the wrong room in the house she's used to being in.
Yeah. Was this supposed to be some sort of like I ended up in the bedroom? Like I got pregnant again? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So now he's saying to her, they didn't hire me because I'm a good teacher. They didn't even hire me because they needed me. And he goes, they hired me because, and then they hear knocking at the door. And then he's like, that's it. He's like, this time I'm going to welcome them to my world because he thinks it's the choir again. And Elizabeth's like, no, Graham, just stay here, cool down. Like, I'll get the door. He's like, all right, I'll sit, but I'm not going to cool down. She goes and gets the door, and it's Dwayne. So the two of them embrace. They haven't seen each other in a long time. And she's like, oh my God, look, you haven't changed a bit. And he goes, neither of you. Like referencing the fact that she's pregnant because this woman has basically
Again.
been pregnant for 2 decades now.
Wild.
Like the Octomom.
Spread out. Would it be better to have 8 all at once?
No.
Yeah, to God, no.
So she lets him in. Like, come in, sit down. Like, and what the hell happened at work today? And she goes, he found out I wrote that letter to you, didn't he? Like, no. Oh, Dwayne, if he ever found out I told you he needed a job, it would kill him. Dwayne says, oh, he won't find out. Graham enters, goes, won't find out what? And Elizabeth goes, oh, honey, why didn't you tell me Dwayne was the coach here? I'm so surprised. I need to lay down, and like exits so the two of them could be alone together.
There is no way he wouldn't think they were having an affair. I wouldn't find out what.
Yeah.
They just moved. I mean, when do they have time?
Yeah, they are 3,000 miles apart, yeah.
Not only that, but I think
That's true.
the coach has got some... He knows what's going on in the locker room.
What does that mean?
Gordo, are you insinuating that Dwayne has a big dick?
No.
We know Pedro Serrano's got a giant dick from Major League.
You mean, to be fair, he wears nothing but a jockstrap for like a third of that movie, and it's a big fucking jockstrap, yeah.
I was actually making a point, but okay.
I don't believe you.
No. The coach is banging his wife all the time.
No.
The coach lives 3,000 miles away from
The
his wife.
bald guy is the coach too.
He is.
What the fuck? You guys have been fucking roasting me for like 5 minutes when I'm talking about her husband knowing what pipe he's laying down. She can't physically lay pipe with anybody else because she's fucking him.
I talked about the Catholic boys, Catholic girls shirt number. I also want a cartoon shirt of Corda that just says, the bald guy's his wife too. I love these like episode specific jokes that are so fucking funny. This is a very they were cones scenario for me.
Yep.
So, anyways, once she leaves the room, he's going, Dwayne, I meant what I said. He's like, I'm not interested in any mercy job. He's like, nope, you made that crystal clear. And then goes, hey, isn't this the same salami we used to get back in New York?
Recognizing salami from across the country is.
Do you think that's the same salami that Ronnie Pinsky used to sneak into Camp Anawana?
Oh, that's a
maybe.
question.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
So he's like, yeah, and New York is where we're going to be heading. And then he goes, can I have a slice? He's like, yeah, I don't care. He's like, you're not going to change my mind. Hey, look, I didn't come here to change your mind. I just wanted to give you a present for old time's sake. And he throws him the game ball. He's like, you're going to give me the game ball? Like, sure I am. I mean, it belongs to you more than it does to me anyhow. I mean, you gave me the shot at quarterback. He goes, yeah, well, that's because I knew you're the best man for the job. He goes, no, it wasn't. It was because the school said that you had to because there weren't enough black kids on the team. He's like, that is a complete and total. Oh, you knew about that? He's like, sure I did.
I understand where they're going with this, right? To show that
I don't like it.
the
Yeah.
relationship is what it is, and the coach is not prejudiced, right? And that he like treated him the same.
No, but the way you do that is you make the coach be the one that fought for him to get the job.
Yeah.
See, no,
Yeah.
I think this ties in right though, because it makes sense though, because it's the whole reason he's explaining that. Well, because he was like, but I didn't treat you any different. He's like, no. He's like, but you whipped my butt into shape and I, eventually I earned it, but that's what got me there. He's like, it's the same situation with you in this job. Basically, it's not like what got you there. It's what you do once you get there. And he's like, it's a totally different situation. How? It's like, well, it just is. And then he's like, read what you wrote on the ball. This part I thought was weird. He's like, quitters never quit, winners never win. He's like, it makes no sense. He's like, well, you were a little excited at the time, but I got what it meant then. Do you now? Like, no, it still doesn't make sense.
Why did they have to? This didn't need to be in there. He could have just been, wrote quitters never win, winners never quit.
He already made his point with the whole,
Yeah.
I know how I got my spot on the team. It's the same way you got your spot now with this job.
There was too much serious for that much time, and now they needed to squeeze a joke in, even though it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferg kind of mentioned it earlier. It goes back to like this weird forced dialogue that doesn't feel right. Like and there's too much of it specifically between these two.
My edit here would have been winners never quit, quitters never win. I've got to use the can. Like that would have like brought
Yeah,
back the
there you
joke
go.
and Ben
Good job,
emotional, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I get it." Right? Like that's the fucking easy writing of this that they just missed the point on.
Or it could have been one of those. I think getting emotional, going to the bathroom joke. They already. I know it's corny, but like what they could have did was like, winners never quit and quitters never. It's like he didn't finish it because he got emotional and had to go to the bathroom.
This is Millpool.
Hire us. We are way better writers.
In 1988, when we were 3.
Now it goes, hey, I'll see you at work tomorrow or whatever, because he realizes that he's been acting like a real horse's patoot.
Again, laughed really hard at him. It's not even the word, it's just his delivery of saying patoot. I fucking laughed super hard at that.
He goes to throw Dwayne the ball. He's like, hey, you keep it. He's like, no, you keep it. And he throws it back at him. He's like, no, thanks, but I don't need it anymore. And then Graham throws the ball again and just straight through his own window. And Dwayne's like, I'll pick it up outside. That's when he exits.
I do love that, though. That's the classic, like, those who can't teach scenario. Like, he's a great coach, but he's not a great football player.
Yeah.
And then he calls his wife and the kids down. Like, we got some boxes to unpack. Don't expect me to do it all by myself, do you? And as he's sitting down and puts his feet up. So he's not going to do shit.
Grabs the beer, grabs the salami.
And then it cuts to like, after that is like the end of the night. It's a flash forward and all the kids are heading upstairs for the night. They're all in their like nightwear and doing like a little like kiss their parent chain as they're heading up the stairs. We end up with just Graham and Elizabeth, and it's like, she's saying, well, I want a long hot shower, a nice warm bed. Like, sounds good. I'll lock the door. You know something, honey? All these years I've been dreaming about a place where we could go to bed at night and not have to lock the door. I think we finally found it.
Yeah, I get the joke they're going for here, though, but like, could you ever imagine, even if you were in the middle of nowhere, not locking the door?
I mean,
I can.
you want to live somewhere where you don't have to, but you do.
No, but you have to more than ever here because you have all daughters and you're surrounded by horny dudes.
Yeah.
Also, Joe, I wanted to bring this up because I figured maybe you would be the only one to. Wasn't there a serial killer in Eureka, California? I looked it up.
Yeah.
I couldn't really find anything specific.
No, there was. What was his name? Fuck. Yeah, there is for sure. 1,000%.
Because I did look it up and I didn't. Maybe I spelled it wrong.
No, there is. What's his name?
Oh, Wayne Adam Ford
Yeah.
is what's like a long haul. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Long haul truck driver rings a bell for me. But when they said Eureka, it piqued me, and I thought it was funny because he is saying that he feels like he doesn't need to lock the door, but that made me think of a serial killer, which was counterintuitive. But apparently this was about 10 years after this episode happened anyway. So at the time, he was still right, I guess.
Yeah, I think at the time, this is like a farming community, right? Like it's 300 miles north of San Francisco. Like this is, I think nowadays, it's a place that's like catastrophic rain.
And I do remember, I mean, there was a time where like, I mean, my parents would talk about where they grew up, how like no one locked the doors back then. And like, I think it's weird if you have locks on your doors, just lock them because you never know. But
Right.
there was a time where community felt stronger and people, I guess, didn't feel the need.
I feel like that's something our parents like to just tell us, and that was never a thing.
Yeah, now I lock the doors. I've got a Ring camera. I have a Simply Safe. Like, you just put all those things on, like, just in case. Like, why take the risk, you know? And we all grew up in a pretty safe, quiet town that had very little
for the most part.
crime for the most part, you know?
I think that it's not the fact that would you leave your locks unlocked. It's that it's the option of the lock.
Right. So for the night, he doesn't go and lock the door. They're going to head up the stairs. But then they get about halfway up the stairs and it's dark. And you just hear the choir from outside again with the welcome to our world. And then he runs down, locks the door, throws a chair up against it.
A great gag. The only better goodnight gag I can think of is the episode of Married with Children where they're fixing the house and they put Bob Rooney in the wall by accident. And when Al goes to bed, he knocks on the wall and says, "Goodnight, Bob Rooney," as he's stuck in the wall and they don't get him out. Like, that's the only other version of this I can think of that's actually funnier.
I could see them making it up to the top of the stairs and then them being off camera and you hear a scream and you see like a boy run down the steps who's like dressed in the tank top, like the worker guys from earlier, and like run out and then he chases after him and then locks the door or something like that. I could see that being the thing too.
Or him reaching through the broken window and locking the door from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the conclusion of the episode. The version we had, at least, I don't know if for all of you, but like the version that I had set up had like, this season on, but none of that really mattered.
I saw it.
And one thing to talk about too, because it's not part of our purview here as far as our mission statement, but the technical pilot of this is an episode of Growing Pains.
Yes, I read that.
Backdoor pilot?
Yeah. So there's an episode of Growing Pains where, because Coach is a big recurring character on Growing Pains, there basically is a backdoor pilot where he gets offered this job, they start figuring everything out, and it's like a very much a backdoor pilot where like you don't really see any of the cast of Growing Pains. It's just a Coach Lubbock episode and his family to like introduce you to more of his family and to like get you acclimated. Then what we watch is S1E1, but you can find, because Growing Pains is syndicated, you can watch that anywhere. There is that episode that's, I think, a fun thing to go back and see before this, because it does give the scenario of how this all happens.
We should do an episode where we watch that and then we watch The Farm.
I would love that. I also think still the farm.
Do all that. We'll just do a bunch of backdoor pilots, but in one episode, cover them quickly.
Also, the backdoor pilot of Facts of Life, where they weirdly have a military school, is a good one too. Boys.
That is for another day. But we've talked about this one long enough. Not a lot to say. Like nothing that I didn't say at the top of the episode. A show that did well. Probably could have lasted a bit longer, but due to contractual stuff and the network kind of abandoning them, kind of got stuck in a weird spot. Because of that, we got Step by Step in the long run, so can't be too upset. But with all that being said, might as well get into the green light or cancels. So, Joe, I'll start with you.
This is an easy green light for me. I loved the show as a kid. I think probably only knew about it in syndication, right? Like when this was on, 88 to 90? We were pretty young. I don't think we were picking up on enough what was happening. TV was on in the background, what have you. I think about all the time. I actually looked up, it's so funny. It was like episode of, and I think I brought this up on the podcast before, episode of 10 of Us about the skateboard. And the episode is called The Skateboard. But it's about, is it JR or TJ, whatever his name is. He really wants a Tony Hawk Powell Peralta skateboard. And the family can't afford one because there's 10 fucking kids. So Coach makes him a skateboard. And he throws the skateboard away and lies and says it got stolen. And then Coach finds it in the trash and his heart breaks. It was like one of those moments as a kid watching TV where like you understand empathy and sadness and it like lives in you forever. And I know that's a fucking weird thing to think about, but I think about that episode all the time. And I'm glad I could rewatch it now because these are all on YouTube. He eventually does pull the skateboard out of the trash and skate it, and it's a good deck. And as somebody who broke their wrist skateboarding at 40 this past year, I really think about that stuff now as a kid. I really enjoyed this show. I think we talked about the flaws. There's too many characters. I still think Just the Six of Us is a great show, but it's still a green light. I'm sad that it got killed for dumb reasons. And it got killed for dumb reasons earlier than it should have, because if we did that 2 seasons later, I think this would be more in circulation and syndication. But there's only 47 episodes, which is less than half of what typically gets syndicated. So I think that we're here to hopefully pass the torch on to some people to say this was a good show people forgot about, and it's a green light for me.
Berg.
Yeah, for me, it's like the show wasn't bad enough to hate, but not good enough to defend. It's like the ultimate "why does this exist" sitcom, and it exists just because Growing Pains was popular. I like the show as a whole. I don't like this pilot very much. A lot of the dialogue was very unnatural, and then there was just too many characters to really have anyone stand out. I like the theme song a lot, and like I said, I like the show as a whole. I don't know why Coach and his family deserve a spinoff, so it is going to get a cancel for me, as much as it hurts to cancel the Elm Street Girls, but yeah, cancel.
Nick.
Yeah, I think the best. I am really on the fence about this one, but I think ultimately I'm going to cancel it. It's fine. It checks a lot of good sitcom boxes, but Berg mentioned, not to parrot him or anything, but it really, a lot of it felt unnatural, and I agree with that. I'm sure the dialogue gets better. A pilot always struggles in that aspect, I think. But at the end of the day, I am just kind of like, what's the point of this show necessarily? Is it about the kids? Is it about the parents? I don't know. There's just like, I feel like they don't really know exactly what they want it to be just yet. And I don't feel myself dying for another episode, really, I guess is the short answer. But yeah, I don't hate the show. I think it was an okay watch, but I am just, there's not enough there for me to greenlight it, so it is going to be a cancel from me.
Gordo.
All right. Well, I did not like this show. I felt like it dragged on. It did have some good parts to it. It did, like the sliding down the stairs scene. That one was funny. But overall, there were too many characters. There was just too much going on. You needed to sort of simplify that story. Either don't have the Dwayne stuff and just have them moving to California so that you could get to know each member of the family, and then have something else present that, like, hey, the reveal is they're at an all-boys school. So you'll want to see next week after establishing all of these characters. And it had also nothing to do with the show, but the one that was on our drive had a big fucking counter in the middle of it that distracted the shit out of me. And so I was like, damn, we're only like a minute and a half in. Wow.
It really showed you how long the episode was. And
Yeah, I was like, fuck. That had nothing to do with my green light or cancel. I just thought it was just a funny thing to point out. But yeah, cancel for me.
So I was pretty torn after watching the episode. I'm still torn now, if I'm being completely honest. I don't feel like it's funny because I'm almost like basing my vote off how everyone else voted because I'm so torn. And I almost feel like it's not bad enough to be 1 out of 5. So I feel almost like skewing green light just because I'm such a coin flip right now. It was fine. I really feel like it's weird because the whole premise is like, look how many kids we have. But I feel like the show works if you get rid of 4 of the kids. I think all you really needed was like the 4 oldest daughters and you'd be fine and the show wouldn't suffer from it. Like at least this episode, nothing substantial happens with the other kids that you couldn't have made this whole episode almost identical without them. It was a little overwhelming trying to learn about all these different characters and too much chaos. Too many people on screen at one time. It just gets to be a bit much. But I will give it the green light because it was still like a fun sitcom and I could see myself just chilling and watching a whole season as it's on TV while I'm doing something else in the background. Like, so I didn't dislike it. It's a very soft green light for me, but I'll give it the green light. And huge points because of the theme song being so amazing. But with that in mind, that's only 2 out of 5. So I'm sorry to just the 10 of us. That's going to be a cancel from us.
Just the 2 of us.
Yeah, just the 2 of us passed it. So I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Thank you to Josh who suggested this episode. We do like the show as a whole, I would say, mostly, but this episode didn't quite live up. But to all of you guys, S1E1 Pod, that's where you can find all the links to all of anywhere to follow us. Hit us up, do the same, suggest episodes for us to do in the future. Rate, review, subscribe everywhere because that helps us in the algorithms. Buy a t-shirt if you so please. But that's it. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. Until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we are the best at knowing about fishing.